Well, good morning. We just read in our last lesson about fruit. Did you hear that? Were you listening? We talked about fruit. God talks about how we, as His people, produce fruit.
Dad, there's no hat next.
Okay. Sounds good.
And a fruit and a book. And Daddy reads it.
All right, Daddy reads books, like in the Bible. So God talks about fruit, and He talks about how every single one of us produces fruit. And the fruit that He's talking about isn't like apples and oranges and pears and things like that, but the fruit.
And trees and eggs and dresses.
It's like the catchphrase, or catchword of the day every time I say fruit. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We have the explanation. Good. All right. So, and it talks about us producing fruit. And it says that the fruit that we produce are things like what I have on this little mobile here. Mobile, however you pronounce it.
Fruit of Spirit.
It's called the fruit of the Spirit. And it's what we read about in Galatians. And you see all these different pieces of fruit. And you can tell that I put this together because it's not working all that great. And it has all these little pieces of fruit. And it's got this piece of fruit here that says gentleness, and this one that says goodness, and this one that says self-control, and the pineapple's kindness there, and the cherries are love, and the orange is faithfulness, and the apple is peace. So I read it backwards. And the pear is patience, and the grapes are joy. And there's all these sorts of good fruits that you and I produce. That you and I, let's see. Rebecca, do you love your mom? Yeah. You do? Well, guess what? You produce the fruit of love. Kimberly, do you, when your mom tells you to not eat sweet things before dinner, do you obey her? Usually? So you are exercising the fruit of self-control. Let's see, Adam, when your brother really annoys you, are you patient with him? Sometimes. And when you are, you exercise the fruit of patience. John, when you play baseball, does it make you happy? Yeah? So you're exercising the fruit of joy. And let's see, what's next? I don't know. Can I ask Katie about gentleness? Every once in a while, Katie, do you know what gentleness is?
No.
Gentleness is when you are careful with something. Wait, like, did you ever play with dolls?
Mom could have them.
Yeah, and when you carry dolls around, you're careful with them, and it's called being gentle. Yeah. So we have all these fruit that God says that He produces in us, all these cool things that God works in us. And He says that we work them in us because we have the Holy Spirit, who's God, who's working right here in our hearts to change us so that we, instead of being angry and mean and self-serving and all that, instead of that we produce these good fruits. And when we have the Holy Spirit working in our hearts, then God says that He works all these good things in us. So whenever you're gentle or patient or kind, you know it's not really you that's doing it, because by nature you don't have the capability to do it. But every time that you're joyful, that you're loving, that you're patient, it's the Holy Spirit who's working in you. And that's really, really cool to know.
I will do very careful to make my truck.
Good, that's good. Being very careful.
Get this, and I can't do it while
right. And so we're very excited to know that whenever we do anything good like this, whenever we produce these fruits, it's because God is working in us. And that's awesome. All right. So, do you guys like this mobile?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want one? Okay, so parents at the back table, there's these pictures of the fruits and this, and then one of these door hanger things, and you have to find a piece of paper and the string and stuff. If you would like to, if you want one of these and you want your parents to make one with you, then they can take some things at the end of the church service, okay?